It's a day that belongs to India. It's a day that belongs to India's captain. Shubman Gill's epic 269 set India on the way to 587, the highest total that's ever been made against Bazball. And after that, Gill's bowlers have England on the mat. India in the ascendancy after day 2 at Edgbaston. Varun joins us on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday to look back on a day that has belonged to India. And we must, as we did yesterday, start with Shubman Gill. You called it a statement knock then, but he's turned it into an all-timer.
Absolutely. His highest first-class score, outdoing his previous score by just one run. He would be disappointed though that he didn't get a triple hundred. He was looking so good, very soft dismissal. I was really rooting for him to get a bigger hundred. We were all talking about daddy hundreds, and Gill getting a big one. It really looked like he was digging deep to get one of his big scores. Did get his biggest score, but Gill, you know what? Just a brilliant player. I just think in a land where they produce all the Rolls Royces, I think we saw an Indian Rolls Royce operate. Just brilliant, so smooth. Didn't give them a single chance in 269 runs. That's so much to say, because generally when somebody plays that many balls in a place like England, you definitely see a few chances go down. You see a few loose shots. It just shows his mindset, just shows his composure, and it just shows that Shubman Gill wants to be the greatest batsman India has ever seen. That's how he's operating, and it's not every day that somebody backs up the highest score in Test cricket by the highest score in first-class cricket or cricket ever.
And almost doubling your previous highest Test score.
100%.
The point you make is well reflected in a control of over 93%. It's almost unthinkable. I know the surfaces have been easier to bat on, but to have that kind of control over an innings that's lasted nearly 400 balls.
But ask England if the surface is easy to bat on. They've already lost 3 wickets. Yeah, but 100%. See, look, Yash, no matter what you say, in England, it's never a complete cakewalk to bat. There's always something happening off the wicket. The English bowlers were way off their mark. If you see, they had a plan A, didn't stick to plan A for more than 25 overs. The moment they saw somebody settled, they started going to plan B. And the thing with their plan B is they don't have bowlers who are quick enough to execute plan B. Yeah. To execute that kind of plan B, which is obviously short bowling, just for people who don't understand their plan B, you have to have express pace, or you have to be bowling on a wicket which has some bounce, which has some pace. They have none of that. And over that, if you want your bowlers to bowl 15 out of their 24 or 25 overs, just pitching the ball short and banging it in short, they're all human. They are going to run out of gas at a certain point, and that's what we saw. Then we saw some beautiful throwdowns by some dibbly-dobbly bowlers. Yep. And finally, Joe Root getting the odd wicket, which was good signs for Washi, actually.
Yeah.
Bad sign. He got out, though, but in his head, he would be thinking, you know what? This wicket just might have something for me.
Absolutely. Let's stay on the England bowling since you bring it up. We've raved so much about the tactics and how England attack even while defending, even while bowling. What did you make of the bowling plans? Was that declaration bowling that started a bit too soon?
Look, I mean, there might be people talking up the English bowling, but if you go to see, I don't think India did themselves any favour in the first test. It wasn't like the bowling was outstanding, where India suddenly collapsed. It was good bowling, but not unbelievable, swinging around corners, hooping it around poles. There weren't demons in the wicket. We just collapsed. In 72 runs, we lost 13 wickets, which is unheard of in recent times. So if you go to see, England bowlers have continued the way they were bowling in the first test. It's just that our batting has gotten better and our batting has gotten deeper. With Washi coming in towards the end, scoring 42 runs, and 2 partnerships which almost saw almost 350 runs.
Yeah, just on the England bowling, only 8 overs of the 66 on day 2 bowled by Stokes and Woakes. Weird?
No, I think Stokes has to really make sure his workloads aren't too high, because Stokes is key for them. They want him to play throughout the season. He's coming back from injuries. Again, in the first test, he bowled a lot, which was not needed. Again, he had to bowl 19 overs here. Woakes already had bowled 21 overs yesterday. So for him to bowl more than that, it would have been outlandish. Maybe Woakes could have bowled a few more, but also Woakes wasn't looking dangerous at all. The wicket had slowed down a lot, and Shubman Gill wasn't giving him a sniff. On the other hand, Tongue had just bowled 13 overs yesterday, so he had to do a lot of the heavy lifting. But Kaas and Tongue have not been that great, to be very honest.
All right, let's go to the other part of the Indian batting effort on day 2, because having had the ignominy of their last 5 wickets across 2 innings at Leeds, adding a sum total of 55 runs. They now had a record haul. The last 5 wickets adding 376, which is the most for India in a test match. Jadeja and Gill had already started on day 1. They made that a double century stand, and that Washington Sundar association with Gill, vital runs.
I think the Jadeja partnership was the most crucial partnership of this test so far. Because it was imperative. He saw off the new ball. Sorry,
211 for 5 when they came together.
100%. And more, just to add to the context, the first session was really important because we've all been thinking about an Indian batting collapse, especially down the order. Jadeja really made sure that didn't happen. Saw off the first 1 hour and then almost saw off the whole first session just before the stroke of lunch. He lost his wicket, but brilliant batting. Again, I think he loves batting in Birmingham.
Washington Sundar was, of course, a much argued selection call on day 1. 2 parts to that selection call. He's vindicated part 1 with that batting performance.
I think that was the main part because they brought in Washi to bolster their batting down below. Obviously, he's a really good spinner. He can add so much if the wicket is turning. And I feel if Joe Root can turn one from middle stump, I think Washi's going to get Ben Stokes.
Yeah, he will be quite excited. All that put together meant India kept England on the park for 151 overs. That's the longest anyone has batted against England in England since the start of Bazball times. And the effect of those 150 overs felt when you saw the England batting begin.
Absolutely, Yash. If anybody is on a cricket field for 151 overs, your legs are not going to move like they do. You're not going to be a spring chicken the moment you come out to bat. And Bazball is a far-fetched mirage when your legs aren't moving. To make sure you're attacking the bowler, to make sure your feet's moving, going towards the ball, it's impossible when you fielded so many overs. And if you see all 3 wickets, their legs were stuck at the crease, not much foot movement. And I think it was a blessing in disguise that India actually lost those wickets and put England to bat towards the end.
Yeah, we're recording this about half an hour before stumps on day 2, by which point India had already taken 3 wickets. That opening burst from Akashdeep in particular, but also Mohammad Siraj, what stood out? What did they get right?
Look, on this wicket, you have to hit the deck hard at 140 plus. That's exactly what Akashdeep did because the wicket doesn't have much in it. And if you have to extract anything out of the wicket, any lateral movement, any bounce, you have to hit it really hard and you have to hit it on a length which can actually end up hitting the stumps. That's what Akashdeep did. That second ball to Pope, the second ball he bowled to Pope to be on a hat-trick was an absolute beauty because to get that movement so late off the wicket when you pitch it so up is not easy. Akashdeep is one of those bowlers who can really hit the stumps at a high pace, which we saw. And then Mohammad Siraj. Again, like I was saying, Mohammad Siraj was quite underrated the previous match. Very unlucky as well. Just bowling an absolute jaffa to get a very important batsman out.
Yeah, and you saw a great sense of control from Siraj, a very disciplined opening burst. You expect that sense of responsibility to just lift up, knowing that in this bowling pack, he is the leader.
Absolutely, Siraj is one of those bowlers who can be the leader and who at the moment he is the leader. Just coming back to what I was saying, he did have a good last match, maybe not it didn't reflect on the scoreboard, but the way he bowled was brilliant and I think he knows that and he's just continuing to do what he did really well in the previous game.
Quick thoughts on what you're expecting from day 3?
I honestly, I don't want to try to be a soothsayer or anything like that. I think India is going to have a huge victory because on day 3, the spinners are going to come in. I was saying this on comms to Ronak as well, that when Gill and Jadeja were batting, that I think this is going to be one of India's biggest victories overseas ever.
Just going by what's been
But not on day 3. It might go to day 4, yeah.
Just going by everything that's happened
yeah.
on the broadcast of this series.
Yeah.
I think Indian fans will request you to not make a lot of predictions. It's not been going great for you. But thank you so much for your time, Varun. Aaron. India go into day 3 firmly in the ascendancy at Edgbaston.